Okay, welcome to Kitchen Cuts, and the first thing that we always want to do is comb the hair in the direction that it grows. We want to prep our client up and get them ready to go. Okay, aside from combing the hair, this is actually the second easiest step. I'm going to use my Renpho clippers and create my bald line. I'm keeping it midway because I'm going to have a lot of room to play with, but this is just where I want to bald the bottom. While we're at it, this is a good time to get rid of that facial hair. Okay, now I'm going to use my Andis T Outliners. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I've modified these clippers to cut a little bit closer. I will include it in the description section, how to modify your T Outliner clippers. So if you want to learn how to make them cut sharper and a little closer, don't worry, I got you. Okay, now I got the easy part out the way with the baldness. Now let's get into the fade. I'm going to use my Babyliss Pro FX Rob, the original version, and I put my lever all the way down, and I'm going to create my first line into the fade process. Okay, now I switched over to my Wahl Seniors, and I'm using my Andis #1 magnetic guard. First, I started off with the lever all the way down, but I noticed it wasn't taking off as much as I wanted to. So I'm going to move the lever all the way up and create that second line into the fade. Okay, now I want to get into the curly part where I can knock off some of that bulk. So I put my OA guard on and I'm flicking up to where I could just, whatever dark spots I see, I'm just going to flick on up and just knock out some of that bulk and make it lighter. By the way, my lever is all the way up, but you probably already read it. Okay, now I'm getting to the curly part and I want to cut out some of that bulk. So I'm going to flex on you guys by using my clipper over comb work. I got my comb up and then I'm tilting it slightly slanted so it won't take off as much hair. Pretty much that comb work, as I tilt it, it makes it about a 1.5 guard. And then I'm just going to do the same old thing and I'm going to keep on going and getting that bulk out. Clipper over comb work. This is more of an advanced technique. So if you're a new barber, you might not want to do this because you might cut a hole in his head and get your ass kicked. The thing I like about the clipper over comb technique, it's not a guard, so you have more control of how much hair you take off. But remember, the most important thing is you want to slant that comb so you can take off less hair. If you slant it in, you're going to take off more, but when you slant it out, you'll take off less. Okay, so my barber eyes tell me I want to concentrate on this area right here. Let's take right there where I pointed. I want to take out that bulk, so I put an OA guard on and my lever is all the way up and I want to take out that bulk. So I'm gonna flick up so I take out that bulk so where it gets lighter to the point where I feel like I'm satisfied, where I don't see the line, and then I'm going to move to the next step. Okay, I'm satisfied with the top part of the fade. So now I'm using my #1 guard, lever all the way up, and I'm concentrating on the middle part. So I want to keep flicking out until the fade looks smooth and I have a nice transition. Okay, I'm going to go with no guard, and I'm working that bottom line. I want to get that bottom line out because that's really going to make my fade pop. As a beginner barber, the most important thing that you want to learn is your lever work. Moving your lever up and down means a whole lot. Remember, if your lever is all the way up, that's also closing your blade. That means you're going to take more off. If your lever is all the way down, that means open. You're going to take less off. But that lever work is very, very important in trying to figure out how much hair you need to take off. And you only get that by experience. You just have to keep on going and moving your lever up and down, taking hair off, and see where it goes. Okay, I want to go back to the middle because I still feel like I have more to fade. So I put my number one guard on, and I'm going to have my lever up and down. And I'm mainly working the middle part, just making my fade look smooth before I go to the next step. Here's some OG barber advice. For you new barbers, it takes time to get good. I mean, don't rush yourself. I know you might get frustrated with how some of your haircuts turn out, but I really think it takes about 6 months to start to know what the hell you're doing. Okay, I switched over to my Babyliss Pros. My lever is all the way up. But as a barber, you have multiple clippers. So I felt like in this part in the middle of the fade that the Babyliss Pros were better because they take off a little bit more. So I'm just doing the same step, but I'm using a different clipper. Okay, I'm about to, right there, that area I just pointed to. With my barber eyes, I still see some bulk right there. So I put on my 1.5 guard and I'm pretty much just flicking up until where I see that bulk goes out so it's a smoother transition. Okay, I put my number one guard, the area I just pointed at, I see a lot of bulk, a lot of darkness, so I got my number one guard on. I'm going to adjust my lever up and down, pretty much doing the finishing touches before I move to the back. Okay, now I move to the back and I'm pretty much doing the same thing that I did on the side. My blade is open and I'm creating my line about 1 inch up. In the barber game, it's pretty much a lot of repetition. You'll do a lot of the same steps when you're doing your haircuts. It's like being an athlete. I don't know if you play basketball, but athletes practice all the time. The same moves, crossover, dribble, whatever, and they do it in the game. That's what we're doing in the barber game. You face different haircuts, but you pretty much do the same moves. Once you got your moves in place, you're gonna be a great barber. As a matter of fact, you're gonna be the LeBron James of barbering. I got my number one guard on, lever all the way up, and I'm creating my next line, going up about 1 inch, because I don't want to go too high because that's when I'll get into that curly area, and you never want to go too high because then now you're in the oh damn zone. So I'm going to stay where I am about 1 inch. Okay, so this time I'm going to fade from the bottom. So I took my guard off and I'm going to work my lever up and down and just take out that second line. Okay, I had to have him adjust his head because he was on his damn cell phone. So I put on my red O Speedo guide and I'm concentrating that area where I see some bulk. My lever's all the way up and I'm just cutting that, flicking up until it smooths out. Okay, I'm going back to my number one guard and I'm going to adjust my lever up and down and I'm going to clean out that bottom part of the fade. Flick, 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 flick. Okay, Okay, so now we get into the curly area where there's a lot of bulk. So I'm going to do my clipper over comb technique, but you know what? Let me adjust the camera so y'all can see it from the side. Okay, so now you got a better look. See how I'm combing it out and it's sticking out? We call that hang time. I want to get rid of the hang time, and the reason why I didn't use a guard because it might take too much off. That way, by me going clipper over comb, I have more control of how much I'm going to take off. So watch me as I get rid of that hang time. I'm not satisfied. I still see a little bulk right there, so I'm gonna do the same thing, clipper over comb. And the reason why I adjusted my lever down because I don't want to take as much off. And doing the same thing, I just readjusted the camera, but I'm getting rid of now this is bulk time. Okay, I'm satisfied with how the top looks after using my clipper over comb technique. So right now I have no guard on it. I'm gonna adjust my lever up and down, and I'm just cleaning up that bottom part of the fade. Look, I had to readjust his head again because he was on his damn cell phone. These clients and these damn cell phones get on my nerves, man. Heads all the way down, you know? I'm like, bro, you're getting your hair cut, concentrate. So now, like, basically just putting some finishing touches on it. Went to my Babyliss Pros, lever up and down, cleaning the bottom part before we move to the next step. Okay, right here, I'm pretty much doing the same thing as I did to the other side in the back. So right now, I'm gonna just shut up and let y'all rock out to these tunes while y'all watch me do this fade. Okay, now I whipped out my Andis T Outliners, and I'm just gonna line up the side of his head because this client right here, he doesn't like the front of his hair lined up. So it's all about what your client wants. If your client doesn't want the front lined up, hey, you don't line up the front. If they just want the side lined up, you line up the side. And if they don't want to line up at all, then you don't line it up at all. Before I lined up the other side, I did see some bulk, so I put on my Andis #1 magnetic guard, and I'm just gonna flick out and get rid of that bulk. And that's okay. I mean, sometimes as a barber, when you go line up the other side or you think you finished, you see something else, the only thing you gotta do is fix it. I got that boy fresh. I had to hit y'all with this slow motion. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my page so you can see more of my tutorials. Everybody out there, stay corona free. Thank y'all for watching and have a good day. Ciao!